All right, let's take a look at number 2. We need to solve the equation with the quadratic formula. Do you remember what the quadratic formula is?
Yeah.
What is it? So remember, on your test tomorrow, the first thing you're going to do is write down this formula. And now we just need to find our A, B, and C. So what's our A? 1. So if there's no number in front of the n squared, it's just 1. What's our B?
2.
And what's our C?
-5.
And now we just need to plug all those into our formula. So we have -2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times -5 over 2a.
2 times 1.
2 times 1. You're right. So we have -2 plus or minus. How can we simplify inside the square root?
4.
So we have 2 squared is 4. And then what else?
That'd be a positive 20.
So it becomes a positive 20 because we have 2 negative signs. So it becomes plus 20 over 2.
And you add the 20 and the 20 and the 4 equals 24.
So we have -2 plus or minus the square root of 24 over 2. You can just leave your answer like this. Any questions on this one? All right, let's go to number 3. What's our A?
3.
What's our B?
2.
And what's our C?
3.
So now we just plug that into our quadratic formula. So we have -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And now we simplify. So we have -2 plus or minus. How can we simplify under the square root? What's 2 squared?
4.
And then minus 4 times 3 times 3.
36. Negative 36.
So minus 36 over 2 times 6, 6. So now we have -2 plus or minus the square root. What's 4 minus 36? -32 over 6. We can just leave our answer like that. Okay, last one. Zane, what's our A? 4. Zane, what's our B? And what's our C? Perfect. So now we just plug it in. Angela, what do you get when you plug it in?
3 plus or minus the square root and then -3 to the power of 2 minus 4 times 2 times 1 times 1 times 2.
And what goes on the bottom? 2. So now we have 3 plus or minus the square root. What's -3 squared?
9.
9 minus 4 times 1 times 2 over 2. So what's our final answer? What's the square root of 1?
So we're going to put the square root?
The square root of 1 is 1, so we don't have to put the square root. We can just leave it as 1.
If you put it, would it still be right?
Yes. All right, any questions on the first section? So what's the first thing you're going to do when you get your test tomorrow? Write the quadratic formula down. Okay, for the second section, to find the discriminant, we're just going to use the part that's under the square root of the quadratic formula. So the b squared minus 4ac.
On the test.
So what's the first thing we need to do here for number 6? We need to add 6a squared to both sides. Because we need our equation to be equal to 0. So we have 6a squared plus u. What's going to come next?
Then a
And then -4.
Perfect. So it's important to keep it in this order where you have the a squared, then the a, and then just the number. So what's our a going to be equal to? What's our b?
1,
And what's our c?
-4.
Bless you.
So you're going to do 1 plus 1 squared minus 4 parentheses 6 parentheses -4. So give you 1 plus 6 is 6. I think it's 6.
So what's 4 times 6? 24. And what's 24 times 4?
96.
96. And it's plus because we have 2 negatives, so 2 negatives make a positive.
So I'll give you 97 minus 2 squared.
So 97, and since 97 is positive, we have 2 real solutions. So our answer here is both 97 and 2 real solutions. So you need to put both of those on the test.
Okay.
Ready for the next one? Okay, let's look at 7. What's our A?
3,
What's our B?
6,
And what's our C?
3.
So now what do we do next?
You do 6 squared minus 4 parentheses 1. So give you 36 minus 36. So give you 0, which is 1 solution.
What's the clue for that?
So we get 0 and 1 solution. Okay, number 8. What do we do first? Mia, what's our A? What's our B? And what's our C? What do we do next?
5 squared minus 4 parentheses 1 negative 1 parentheses.
So it's 5 squared. And then negative 4 times negative 1 times 6. And it becomes a plus because we have 2 negative signs. And then we have 49 and 2 real solutions. Good job. Okay, let's move on to the next section.
Are all these going to be negative on the test?
Yes. So for number 10, what do we do first?
Move the negative to the side, so you have I.
So we have I square root 12. What can we do next?
You do I, and then 6 minus 2. And then for the 6, you're going to do 2 to get 3 times 3 times 2.
What?
Shush. Then you're going to get 2 i's to square 3.
Right, so we take out the pair of 2's, and we have 2I square root 3. You will get the same answer if you split up 12
With 4 and 3.
with 4 and 3. So we get 2 and 2 and 3. We just take out the pair of 2's. So we get 2i square root 3. So it doesn't matter what you break it down, you'll still get the same answer. Okay, let's look at 11.
Are they gonna big numbers like that?
Take
You
out
could.
That's, take out the I. 25 and 3. 5 and 5.
Why you did a big number? You guys just did 15 and 5.
It's the same thing. It's 5i squared 3.
So we take out that 5 and we get 5i square root 3.
And now the first one will pop into the head.
Okay, and 12. What do we do first?
You took out the negative to make an I. And the two numbers are 9 and 3. And then for the 9 you get 3 and 3 to get I square root of 3 times 3 times 3. To take out the 2 3's to get you 3I square root of 3.
Oh my god.
Good job.
Perfect. Any questions on this section? The simplifying square roots.
Nope.
All right, let's go to adding and subtracting complex numbers.
You already did all of them.
I did 2.
No.
Did I do this one in class with you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to 15. So if there's a negative right out front of the parentheses, you have to distribute it to what's inside the parentheses. If it was just a positive sign, so if you look at number 16, we could just drop the parentheses right away. But since there's a minus sign in front of this parentheses, we have to distribute it to the parentheses it's touching. So we have
Plus 5i.
plus 5i.
Minus 5. Plus 6i.
Perfect. What do we do next?
Distribute. Not distribute. Multiply negative 3.
You combine all the constants of
So we combine all the real numbers. So what's negative 3 minus 5? Negative 8. And then we combine the i's.
plus 11I.
So plus 11i. So our answer is negative 8 plus 11i.
I think I'm wrong. How did I do that? Wait a minute. I think I'm wrong. How did I get that wrong? I got 3.
What?
Okay, let's go to 16. So right away, we can just drop the parentheses since we have a plus sign in the middle. So we have minus 7 plus 4i minus 2 plus 8i. Chanel, what are our real numbers here?
Negative 7, negative 2.
Are you sure? Oh my god.
What's negative 7 minus 2?
Go ahead, Jonathan, since you want to take mine, so go ahead.
Negative 9.
Negative 9. And then we have
Plus 12i.
4i and 8i, so plus 12i. So our answer is negative 9 plus 12i.
Wait a minute. Can I see your answer for number 15?
Yes.
Oh.
Any questions on adding and subtracting?
Wait a minute. Why
Yes.
did you put the square root on the square after the 6I on 15?
Because this is not multiplying.
We're not multiplying. We're just adding. So in the adding and subtracting, you won't have the I squared, but in the multiplying, you will.
Wait, how did
All right, last ones. Take a look at 18. What do we need to do first?
Oh,
FOIL.
FOIL.
So we do the first ones. So we have negative 15. Then the last ones. Julie, you're too fast. And then the last one's plus 15i squared. What do we do next?
We're gonna combine their
So we combine these two in the middle, the i's. What is negative 15i plus 15i? 0. So they cancel each other out.
So you're negative 15 plus 15 squared. But you're gonna make the I negative 1 and negative 15.
So we make the I squared a negative 1.
To get negative 15 minus negative 15, to give you negative 30.
Perfect. Ready for the next one? Okay, 19. What do we do here? FOIL.
Make two of them.
So this squared means it's like writing it twice. So we just write it twice and we FOIL. So we do the first ones. Then the outsides. Then the insides. Then the last. What's negative 2i times negative 2i? Positive 4i squared. What can we do first now? Next.
Combine, we're gonna do like negative 10i minus 20i.
We combine.
20 from? 10 might. Negative 10 minus 10. Exactly, negative 20.
So we combine the i's. But we can't combine that I squared with it. So we just add the negative 10i minus 10i. We get negative 20i. What can we do next?
Make the I a negative 1, yes.
So we make the I a negative 1.
Negative 4.
And we get negative 4. So we have 25 minus 20i minus 4.
So you get negative 20 plus 20.
So 21 minus 20i. Because now I'm just combining these two.
Can I go to the next one?
Yes. Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Yay. Last one.
We want to FOIL.
FOIL. Are you going to do it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, four.
Negative 4 plus 5i minus 4i plus 5i squared.
Perfect.
And then you're gonna do negative 4 plus, you're gonna subtract 5 and 4 to give you I. Plus 5i squared. So negative 4 plus 5i squared. Why didn't you do that?
Negative 4 plus I plus 5i squared.
And then you're gonna make I a negative to give you negative 4 plus I plus 5, parentheses negative 1. To give you negative 4 plus I minus 5. To give you negative 9 plus I.
Perfect.